What sets my company apart from other similar businesses is that I am a landlord and property investor. I personally own 15 rental units with another property of 3 units currently being purchased. In addition to this, I have also bought and sold another 16 properties personally. In this video I am going to briefly speak about each unit, and will no doubt go into each property in more detail at a later date. St James Row was purchased back in 2017 for £22,500. The seller lived in America and I was able to get an absolute bargain. This property had a full renovation at £20,000, with a full rewire, new gas central heating, new kitchen and bathroom, and fully carpeted and redecorated. Estimated current value is £95,000. Hardman Avenue completed in 2018 and was purchased for £58,000. I spent £21,000 on the renovation, which again included new bathroom, kitchen, double glazing and damp proofing works. The property back in 2018 was valued after works at £90,000, and is currently valued at around £140,000. The tenant moved in before the property was fully completed and is still in the property, so I do not have any staged completed images. Acre Mill Road was my second rental purchase in 2018 and was bought for £55,000 with only a small bit of finishing work. The seller had completely renovated the house but hadn't bothered to complete the last bits of decorating. Very strange. I have no rental listing images of this house as it has never been on the open market. It has its third set of tenants in there, and every time they have moved from another property that we manage. David Street was purchased in 2018 for £45,000. It was tenanted at the time, with the tenant only paying £350 per month. I had no issues with this as I initially didn't spend a penny on the property and the tenant stayed there until 2021. Once the property was empty, I gave it very light renovation. The bath was replaced as it had been damaged, and then the bathroom was retiled. I had the kitchen retiled and also had the units sprayed. After this it was just a case of new carpets and decorating. The house was taken on the first viewing and I now achieve £580 per month. Hope Street was purchased in 2018 and completed just before Christmas. The previous owner had started to fit a new kitchen and had done a shocking job. It took my joiner 4 days to dismantle the kitchen and then rebuild it to get it to fit correctly. I replaced the bathroom suite and retiled. The living room had all of the old dark wood removed, the vestibule was removed, and then the room was replastered. This property initially started off as a flip project, but the sale fell through and the market back then was quiet, so I decided to keep. Garnett Street was my final purchase of 2018 and made it 5 for that year. This also completed just before Christmas, and again it was a flip that I ended up keeping. Similar to Hope Street, a sale fell through, so I just decided to keep it and remortgage. The renovation of this was pretty simple. The existing kitchen was wrapped in grey and I had the worktop wrapped at the same time. The rest of the renovation was just carpets and decorating and minor bits and pieces. Mill Street was actually the first ever house that I had tried to buy back in 2017. The sale at that time had fallen through just a week before the proposed completion due to a charge that the council had placed on the property. It came back around 2 years later and of course I just had to have it. Back in 2017 I had agreed a price of £34,000 and ended up having to pay £42,000 just 2 years later, an increase of £8,000. With this renovation I removed a very small partition wall at the bottom of the stairs and created an open plan kitchen and living space. The bathroom was kept as is, and the house was decorated and carpeted. I still have the same tenant living in this property 3 years later. In 2020 I separated from my partner and was forced to sell the 3 houses that did not have mortgages on them. In 2019 I completed on a partially completed block of 7 one-bedroom apartments. They had been plastered, had kitchens fitted and even had bathrooms. The project looked like it would be fairly straightforward. The one issue that the building had was that it hadn't had the building regs checks, so we would have to work with the council to get these sorted. Well, something that was meant to be straightforward is only just about to be completed mid-2022. The projected £70,000 renovation has risen to over £200,000. Everything was wrong. The plumbing was wrong. The electrics were wrong. We had woodworm, a new roof and tons of fire safety requirements. It also needed an expensive tanking system in the 2-basement apartments. Throw in COVID for 18 months and it's been a complete pain in the arse. Thankfully the numbers still work well, and by the end of summer 2022 this will be generating a decent income. I completed on Vivas Street in 2021. It was actually a client who was buying the property and they pulled out, so for that price I decided to have it myself. I was originally just going to do a quick flip, but with what has happened with COVID I am now focusing on buying more rental units to ensure that I will always have a good regular income coming into my bank. This property is due to go on the rental market June 2022. My final rental purchase is this amazing property on Red Earth Road. I am currently going through the purchase process, May 2022. This is 3 one-bedroom apartments that have never had planning permission. They have been like this for over 15 years. They have their own utilities and power and even have their own council tax banding. These types of multi-units are what I think I am going to start aiming for moving forward. I hope this has been interesting for you. Well, I am assuming so if you are still listening. Feel free to get in touch with me if you're interested in working with us.
Welcome to the Finnigan-McNeill Property Group. We specialize in completely hands-free buy-to-let investments. Our services start with us finding a property for you. This may be something that is ready to rent or something that requires a renovation. If a renovation is needed, we will complete all works on your behalf. The next stage is then for us to get your rental property listed, find you a tenant, and then take care of looking after that tenant and sending you your monthly rent. We aim to make your investment journey as simple as possible, so if you like what you see, why not get in touch with us for a chat?